My goal is to protect my clients by inspecting the wastewater systems that they're purchasing with their properties. Well, when we arrived today, I wanted to get an idea of the situation with the house. It's vacant in this case, so I wanted to get an idea of how long it was vacant and what kind of use it might have had before it was vacated. For instance, we found an old line in this case where the laundry used to discharge separately from the house, and that became a relevant point of discussion. The next process came with going outside and starting to locate, open, and visually check the physical components of the system, being the septic tank, and in this case a fairly simple seepage bed. I also had a pipe running from the septic tank to the seepage bed under a driveway, so I wanted to get an idea of whether that pipe had been crushed by vehicle traffic or anything like that, and hence ended up running a pipe camera through that pipe and found that that was not the case. The pipe was intact and was actually able to watch the flow through the hydraulic load testing that we're doing go through the pipe normally. The camera is something that we do use to check for sags in pipes. We use it to check for breaks in pipes. We use it to check liquid levels to an extent in some various components in a system. We use it for locating purposes. If we're not able to find things with traditional hand tools with probing, then we'll push a camera through the outflow line of a septic tank, for instance, and that will enable us to enact a transmitter that we can pick up with a receiver to isolate a location. It also gives us the ability to determine distances. It's got measurements built into it for how far the reel is out into the pipe. We can also watch flushes and flows from remote locations. If I'm trying to watch whether flushes are hitting at a tank and I'm inside the house, I can do that either by recording video or having it transmit the image to my phone. The other part of the process here involved looking at the septic tank's interior. And while the interior structure looked okay and the components inside, called the baffles, looked satisfactory, the tank was actually leaking out water. It was at a much lower level than it was designed to be because of the vacancy, which showed that the tank was actually leaking, cracked, or had a bad seam, and therefore left us with an unsatisfactory tank condition. Finally, we went on to locating the seepage bed, which is a gravel component on the other side of the drive, as I said, and it was dry because it's been vacant, and it may not have been getting full loading because of the leaking septic tank. So the combination of factors meant that we wanted to determine if that component could dissipate the design flow of a full potential house. We then started to administer the hydraulic load test flows, and we're just at about a point now where I'll take a final measurement on the liquid that got into the gravel and determine what height it came to, and then we'll give it until tomorrow to drain off, and we'll add water again tomorrow and determine if we got rid of all of today's water by putting the same amount in tomorrow, with the intent being that since the house has been vacant, while it may be dry and empty, almost anything can drain off dry and empty when it hasn't been used for an extended period of time. And in addition, in this case, when the septic tank's been leaking and not all the flows have gone to the field, we want to know that that field has the ability to dissipate at least at this time. While my goal is to protect my clients, the side benefit is that it's an environmental business, and doing my job well also tends to benefit the environment. Say it's something I've done for 33 years, and it is interesting, and it is there's something different every day at every site. I meet different types of people from all walks of life, and it's a often fun yet sometimes challenging and hard job with weather and difficulties, but certainly not boring. I like to joke that it's glamorous, but just a little secret, it's not really as glamorous as you might think. But I can't say it's boring.